What's up, YouTube? Drew here, and I am out on a runway. Very, very rural here, and a good drive outside of Rochester, New York. It is pitch black, and the purpose of this video tonight is to finally review the Auxito LED headlights. These are H4 bulbs, and I talked directly with one of the reps for the manufacturer. I believe she had a hand in engineering and also marketing the product, and I promised her I'd review these and I'd give a good, honest opinion. And it's been a little while, but I finally got the car that I want to do it with. I'm not going to make this video about this car. You're going to have to subscribe to the channel if you want to see why I'm so excited about this car, but I will give you a little spoiler. This is a 1999 Toyota Camry, and it is the LE Special Edition, and basically it's a left-hand drive Camry Gracia. They only brought 1,500 of these to the United States. It is not JDM. It is a totally USDM car. It's left-hand drive. It has US headlights and taillights and all that jazz. I happen to drive one of these literally like a few weeks shy of 20 years ago in high school, and this was just an absolutely awesome car. It happens to use H4 bulbs, and I remember 20 years ago when I was a kid and I didn't even care how bad they were at night. So this is a completely raw attempt at this. I bought this car at auction, and there's quite a bit of a story to that, which again, you'll have to subscribe if you want to eventually see that story, but I'm not even certain. Well, it didn't sound fantastic, but it did start. So I did check the car over once when it got here. It's got some issues, but not as many issues as the auction listing said. Well, what I want to do with you guys is I want to get you, first of all, out of the airport here, and the roads out here between the office and the shop are pretty dark. I mean, I can't imagine. You're well outside of any kind of a city glow. I mean, this is the country. This is where you come to watch like a meteor shower or something like that. This is as dark as it gets, and I absolutely hate driving at night for a guy as young as I am. So this is like as raw footage as you are ever gonna get. I'm gonna take the vehicle to my shop. You're not gonna be, with me for the whole ride, but I'm gonna take the vehicle to the shop, and I'm gonna put the headlights in, show you how difficult or easy of a process that is going to be, and then we're going to test them. We'll test them on my way back home. So look at that. I'm already not where I'm supposed to be. Going to shut off and turn back on when I'm on the road. All right, so these are the factory headlights, and they're they're a little bit dingy. The one that I had 20 years ago, maybe it wasn't this bad. There's the high beams, but it's bad. I mean, it's a little bit worse than my 2008 Toyota Tundra, which has factory headlights. This is extremely dark. There's the high beams. So I'm gonna get off with you guys. When we get to the shop, I'm gonna show you how hard or easy these things are to install. I haven't even opened the package yet, as you saw. And once we're through that, we'll take it for a test drive through equally dark, if not darker roads, if possible, if there could be darker roads, and we'll see how they compare. Hang in there. Okay, so I'm at the shop, and there is that one street light. So I'm gonna pull up to the door. That light's, that's one of them sodium style lights. It's not really gonna give us, much interference, but I wanna get out of the car and show you guys how these lights look like on a garage door. So, I almost missed the driveway coming in here. I'm not much of a night driver. These aren't awful, but that's stock. And it's amazing how quiet this car is with 240-something thousand miles on it. And I'm gonna open up the shop, pull this girl in, and I'm gonna change these. I'm gonna tape as much of it as I can and give you guys some feedback on how easy or difficult that was. So stay with me. All right, now here we are. So before we dive into this, I just want to point out a little bit about these. So I sliced the back film here so I could get them open for you, but I wanted to talk to you guys about what exactly they are. So this this color temperature, there it is. It's 6,000 degrees Kelvin. I'm not sure if you could see that. I want to make sure that you guys all understand that that doesn't have to do with how bright they are. The brightness is a measure of its lumens, which is actually not written on here, but the degrees Kelvin at about 4,300 degrees Kelvin, that's kind of that color right there. It's not at all blue. It's not even quite paper white. It's the color, if you remember, like the year 2000, cars started to show up with xenon bulbs, HID bulbs, like the one I was talking about before, early Mercedes. I have right now a 1998 Toyota Celsior. It's JDM. It's basically the Lexus LS 400, but excuse me, not the year 2000, the year 1990. Mercedes, I think, somewhere around there, late 80s, early 90s, was one of the first, if not the first. The 1998 Celsior I have has factory ones, and they shouldn't have any blueness to them. 5,000 degrees Kelvin is like super pure white, maybe ever so slight of a hint of blue, kind of like a diamond, like the diamond I picked out for my wife many, many years ago. It's D color. That is so white, it's almost got a blueness to it, but it's not blue. But 6,000 degrees, that is going to have a little bit of a blueness to it, kind of like the cool white bulbs that you could buy in the LED, you know, the LED bulbs for your house. Those are about 6,000 degrees. 8,000 degrees is straight up blue. 10,000 degrees is going to be like that bucket. And you're going to get purple, like literally purple at 12,000 degrees, and then the colors just go crazy from there. It's just very important to know that that is not how bright they are. The higher that number does not mean the brighter. So just make sure you know that. If I had my choice, it would be 4,300 degrees. I'm an old guy. I'm boring. I just want that's the light that's probably going to give you the most overall use is 4,300 degrees. 3,000 degrees, by the way, is like lemon yellow. That's what... like JDM cars. I've never had one of these Camrys from Japan, but I'm sure they have some provisions for a 3,000 degree Kelvin, lemon yellow light for a fog light, like Toyota Crowns, for example. It's the innermost piece. So those are good too, but just driving down the road with them as your only light's not effective. But anyways, so the woman at the company was pretty, pretty generous to give me these bulbs and pretty trusting. Thank you so much, by the way, if you're watching, to have me review them. So one of the things she asked was how easy they are to do. And I want to point out that I'm working on a 1999 Camry. I mean, this thing is freaking roomy. I could probably get under the hood and close it with me. And they say 50s cars were like that. Well, so were 90s cars. So it's extremely easy. It's not a one-handed job, most likely, especially with rubber that's, 25 years old. But what I'm going to do is just, so I unplugged it. You take note, these have two terminals, the H4 bulbs pointing at each other, and then one that's flat, and that one's on the top in this case. That's going to be more important later. I'm just going to get this rubber thing off. We're going to go from there. All right, so this is super. I remember being a kid and getting caught off by this and ended up freaking out and asking somebody for help. That just kind of hooks on this little, see it right there? It goes underneath that. See, there you go. And the bulb comes out. Now we're going to open these up and see how they go in. I'm a fan of like unpackaging videos. Not so good at them because, I only have one hand. Look at that. She provided, or they provided, I should say. It's a woman I was talking to at the factory, but I'm sure that they're a larger company than just her. Gloves. You always want to wear gloves when you touch these. It's probably less critical on LED bulbs because, you're not going to touch the part that actually shines. So this is how they go in. If you remember, I said that one tab was on the top. That's a really interesting design. It looks like they have mirrors to shoot it up. So let's see if I could do this with one hand. This is, if I could actually get this in there. Wow. Holy crow, that is a lot. It's a little bit tighter than the one that came out, but it is in properly. But goodness gracious, that's a good design. I hope you were able to see that very well as I shot it. But that's it. So it looks like the base of it is, wow. So assuming that base fits through this rubber, which I'm going to put a very tiny bit of dielectric grease on this and on the terminals and basically clean this up because, again, it's 25 years old and I want to keep using it. Actually, again, I'm not to go too far off subject, but I regret selling the car I had in high school. The fact that I got this one back and for $600. Make sure you subscribe if you want to know more about it. I do plan to insure this with my other collector cars. And keep it forever. I'm going to make it perfect and keep it and hopefully pass it down to my kids. So I'm going to step aside and do that for a second and I'm going to get back with you guys. But I did not expect this to be one piece. Usually they have like a control box and a wire and all kinds of screwing around, and man, that was easy. So like I said, I'm going to clean this up, put it back on, and let you know how that went. It literally fit over it, and I'm not trying to like overdo it and push it, but it literally fit on there like like a regular bulb. There's no screwing around. This car, they didn't even know what LED lights were. This car, I mean, of course they did. LEDs go back to the 80s, and probably somebody can pinpoint their existence in the 70s. but this car, when this car was made, its dash lights aren't even LED. I don't know if you noticed when I was on the way here, but one of the several little tiny, I think they're called T4 bulbs, is out. It actually has incandescent light bulbs that light up the speedometer. It doesn't even have LEDs there, and now it has LED headlights. Kind of cool. I hope that you guys at the factory love that I'm putting these in such an old car, because you know, I'm not all parts of the world have 25-year-old cars driving around on the road. But anyways, that was absurdly easy. Obviously, the other side's going to be a little bit harder because the battery's right there. But what I want to do before I attempt that is I actually want to back it back outside and compare how these look. I'm like really excited to see how they look. I'll turn them on in here and show you guys real quick. And then I will take you guys outside with all the lights in the shop off, and we will see. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, I love that. Look at how dingy that one looks compared to that one. They're gonna probably pull me over and think I'm like some young guy that thinks he has a cool car. I used to be 20 years ago. Anyways, I am going to pull out and shine these on the door and give you guys a comparison before and after. And then after I put the other one in, we'll take a ride and see how they compare. Wow, this is incredible. So one of the things that was really important to me was that they still line up right, because you could really like blind people with these. Gives you the idea of the color difference. Just absolutely incredible. I am way more impressed than I thought I was going to be. I was really excited to do this job, this review, but now I'm really excited to have these things in my car. This is actually my first time driving this car this distance. I put like maybe 8 miles on it since it came in from the auction. Look at that. Walk back a little bit. So from back here, it's not blinding at all. Like I can look at the Toyota logo and I don't feel like that's any less blinding than that, or that's any more blinding than that. So the bulb is aimed perfectly, at least as far as I can see. I'll give you guys 100% on that. What I'll do is on the way back to the office where we got the car from, I'll pull over and like walk kind of far away from the car and see. But I mean, we should be able to know. I'm maybe 15 feet away. We should be able to know from here if they're going to be blinding, and they're not at all. So these are an absolute home run. I'm super impressed. I'm going to get the other one installed, and I can't wait to see these things on the road. Sit tight. So I am absolutely stoked out of my mind by these. You know, full disclaimer, I wasn't paid to do this. That's why it took so long. You know, a little bit about me. For those of you who are not subscribed, and I hope you want to, I run a small car dealership that I own, my wife and I own completely by myself. And I have 4 children, 9 and under. So, you know, stuff for me kind of gets put in the back burner. I bought this car for myself in June. This is the middle of August or early August, and I've put a total of 17 miles on this car because, you know, it's just, I don't have time to do my job for free, which is, you know, recondition cars. But I had this evening, kids are in bed, it's pretty late, it's 12 after 11, it's almost quarter after 11 p.m., and I thought I would, you know, be a man of my word and do this review, and I am glad I did. Like I said, I'm not being compensated for it. I just was told I can keep the headlights, but what an amazing, look at these things. It looks like, I'm not entirely certain if the passenger side is switching between high beam and low beam or not. Hard to tell. High beam and low beam with this particular type of bulb don't really make that much of a difference. It's the same bulb, if that makes sense. You know, it's the same position in the lamp assembly. Just, you know, it tries to project it farther forward, if that makes sense. An H4 bulb, you know, is really, it's one bulb with, you know, 3 terminals, one ground and 2 positives because it has 2 filaments. An HID bulb has an actual mirror that slides back and forth. And these are, of course, LEDs, so they have 2 different sets of LEDs. I'm not entirely certain the passenger side, this is a left-hand drive car, I'm not entirely certain that the passenger side is switching between high beam and low beam. I'll have to get out and test that, where it is safe and appropriate to do so. I'm actually taking you guys on some extremely remote roads here, and unfortunately there's somebody behind me, so I'm probably going to have to like pull over and lose them. But this is about as dark as it gets here. And in low beam mode, I mean, the difference is mind-blowing. I'm going to reach out to this company and see if I could get a deal on a set for my Tundra and my wife's Suburban, as well as for the convertible. Those are our 4 main cars. This being one of them, once I have, you know, the warm, soft glow of the check engine light and the tail light out light resolved. But this looks like a safe enough place. I'm going to pull over. I am, like, extremely impressed. I hate driving on these roads because they're so dark. So what I'm going to do is just roll down my window here. These windows seem like they all don't work well. Great. So we're in low beam mode right now. And I also promised you I'd walk far back and see if they're blinding. They are not. I mean, they're definitely brighter, but they're not blinding. That's in the brightness is one thing, but the angle of the lights is another. You could take a much less bright light and get way more blinding if the angle's wrong. They have to do the aiming. So I don't know. You guys be the judge. Those, yeah, they're definitely both working because they're both absolutely blinding now. And again, so you've got the same bulb, the same brightness, just aiming up at eyeballs instead of down at the road. That's the difference between a high beam and a low beam. So yeah, these are a success. The high beam in them, I mean, that's more of a design of the headlights in this 1999 Camry, not the bulbs that Auxito said. My task was to review these and give an honest review. I mean, they are 5 stars, guys. Bravo. Installation was stupid easy. I mean, they fit in the position of the original bulb. I'm inclined to think there's not much more than a couple millimeters in any direction that they're different. Maybe that the shaft sticks out the back a little bit farther, but in this particular application, I'll put it to you like this. If there is room enough to change the headlight bulb without disassembling the headlight assembly, without taking it out of the car, and if there's room to change the headlight bulb without removing anything from the vehicle, if you have room to work, these will absolutely fit your car. Now, if you've got some crazy situation where there's not even a millimeter between your wiring harness and, you know, perhaps your battery or something like that, you might have an issue. Maybe. I mean, they feel like maybe they're a little bit longer than the original bulbs, but I don't think so. I mean, like I said, my daily driver, if I had one, is my 2008 Tundra. I'm usually in something for work. In the summer, I'm in my 2002 Camry convertible as much as I can be. It's important to keep in mind all our cars, except my wife's Tahoe, or Suburban, sorry, they all have over 200,000 miles on them. They're all kind of beaters, and that's by design. You know, I'm kind of a granola kid. I don't need anything new or fancy. I just, you know, Jade has the Suburban, and that's our family vehicle, and that's even got 130K on it. But the point is, every single car I own, I'm going to see if she'll give me a discount if I buy them, like, all at once, because I hate driving at night. I don't care what people think about me. Yeah, these look way cooler. Like, I literally don't care. You're talking to somebody, I would drive, like, a pink Prius with a unicorn horn. I don't care what anybody thinks my car looks like, except me, of course. And I do think these look better, but really what's more important is I can see better. So I think a little bit more like, you know, a dad and husband now than I do, you know, the young single guy I was last time I had a 99 Camry. And these to me are worth it. I mean, absolutely worth a lot of money because of how much better I can see. I mean, I was just driving on a road that is miserably dark without my high beams, and I don't feel like I need them. So installation, 5 stars, easy. Product quality, you know, the feel in my hand, 5 stars, fantastic. The packaging was even 5 stars, and the product's performance is absolutely nuts. I'm gonna cut in some old footage. So here you go. This is before with the old bulbs. It's literally hard to believe how much of a difference there is. And now look at that and compare it to the new footage. These aren't even the high beams. Those are the high beams. The high beams are, I'm mind blown by the low beams. I'm impressed by the high beams. I mean, all of it is absolutely 5 stars, 100%. I absolutely love these. Like I said, I'm gonna order them for our other cars. So listen, I'm Drew. I really hope you guys like this video. Definitely shout out to Auxito if you want to get a set of these. I fully endorse them. There will be a link in the description if they provide me one to buy them directly, if that's a thing, or maybe there will be like a link on Amazon. I don't know. I've never done this before, but I love them. I hope you guys love them. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more stuff like this, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see my adventure of going from, I have like a collection of JDM cars. I'm getting rid of them all, and I'm pouring my blood, sweat, and tears into cars that were actually here in the United States 25 years ago when I was a kid, 80s and 90s cars like this Camry, and gonna make them perfect again over several episodes, including a 1954 Chevy truck that I have in pieces. So if that's your thing, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And hey, listen, God bless you. If I could fix it, you could fix it. This is Drew. I'll see you in the next video. Later. Bye.